Concord was a failure of spectacular proportions, and it doesn't look like the people originally involved in this game's development are going to have a very bright future because a Concord insider now believes the original parent company will not survive the game's catastrophic failure. And just a few weeks ago, when all of the drama was going on with Concord, we actually heard a insider say that Probably Monsters, the original parent company, was internally brushing off criticism of the game and they really didn't care because it was out of their hands and they didn't think it was going to affect them. But it seems their tune has changed a bit because a Concord insider alleges that the game's original parent company, Probably Monsters, will not survive the game's catastrophic failure that saw it get shut down by Firewalk Studios and PlayStation in less than 2 weeks after its initial release due to a lack of players. Now, we do not know exactly how much money Sony gave Probably Monsters for Firewalk Studios in Concord, but the rumor is that it was a behemoth amount of money, that it could have been even $100 million. So they might just want to take the cash and run. They can close Probably Monsters, lay low for a little while, and then start another development studio later down the line that isn't the same name because Probably Monsters will be forever tainted by Concord's failure. But we do not know for certain, though it sounds like they are in for a very bad time. So, of course, they shared that the company offered full refunds. I talked about the Concord saga quite a bit on the channel. It came, it went, it was a spectacular failure, and the announcement of the game's shutdown came after it failed to attract any kind of substantial player base. When the game released on August 23rd, it only hit a peak concurrent player count of just 697 on Steam, which is abysmal, but it also did not appear to do well on PlayStation because the latest data from PSN profiles indicates that only 1,825 people purchased the game. Now, this isn't fully true because you actually have to opt in to PlayStation profiles, but there are millions upon millions upon millions of gamers who use PSN profiles, so it just seems that people either did not take the time to sign up for it because they weren't going to play the game for very long, or they just did not buy the game in totality. And True Trophies also reported the game bombed out of the gate, landing in the 147th most popular PlayStation game on its weekly chart when it first released, and then in the second week it fell to 180th, so we are not talking about spectacular numbers here in any way, shape, or form. It's not like there was one or two statistics that showed it was doing really fantastically. The word on the street is that Sony ended up in totality putting in $500 million to this game because they really expected it to be the next Overwatch. It was supposed to be a major hero genre game. It was supposed to do really, really well for them. And that, of course, just didn't happen, which isn't shocking given its DEI focus. All of the character designs were really bad. The maps were also really mediocre. The character backstories were cringy. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong with this game did go wrong with this game. And to top it all off, it was a $40 experience at launch, which is definitely the 2016 Overwatch launch mentality. And that's just not the way that the industry works anymore. We've moved past that. If this had released for free to play, I do think more people would have probably given it a shot, but it was mocked ruthlessly on the internet because of the bad maps, the bad designs, the bad story, basically everything. And we had heard that, yes, Probably Monsters allegedly did not particularly care, that they were like, it's not our problem anymore, and they were ignoring all of the criticisms. And hey, they were part of the development cycle for this game for years, so you'd think that they would have actually cared in some way, shape, or form, that they would have tried to have listened, but it seems that they, did not. A Concord insider, of course, tells that Park Place that he does not believe that Probably Monsters will survive moving forward, albeit he does think that there are some people who might be able to salvage the company and thread the needle, but only time will tell. And he also noted that morale at the company is horrendous horrifically low. It sounded that they were a smaller team from the get-go. So when you have a smaller team, they're seeing such a massive failure and so many people on the internet ruthlessly mocking them. It's not a shocker to hear that morale would be horrifically low, but I would be interested to see if any other information comes out about this, if Probably Monsters decides to make a statement. Of course, they haven't until now, so I highly doubt that they would, just because it would be bringing more attention to them that they most likely do not want. Though this insider believes the original parent company will not survive the game's catastrophic failure, and even though it did not fail under their watch, they're the ones who were initially developing it, and it just goes to show that, yeah, maybe Sony ended up reskinning it and adding all these DEI designs and character stories, but at the end of the day, the game is still complete garbage, which does reflect poorly on them. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.